Welcome back to the cityCURRENT Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're honored to be with our next guest, Jordan Allen. She's the Senior Vice President with Reveel. How are you doing, Jordan?
I'm good, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we get to talk about cost savings, logistics, shipping, all sorts of goodness, and philanthropy too. But give us a little backstory on Reveel.
Yeah, well, a little background on me. Again, Jordan Allen, Senior Vice President at Reveel. My background is with UPS. So I've been in logistics, small parcel space ever since graduating college. I started as a UPS sales rep, worked my way up as a UPS manager, worked in the pricing department as well. So as you can kind of tell, I live, eat, breathe, sleep small parcel shipping. And now I'm on the other side of the fence working for companies directly helping to drive down these costs instead of protecting the margins inside of the FedEx and UPS contracts. So our mission really and our passion is to increase our clients' profitability by empowering them with the shipping intelligence and advocating for transparency within the industry. So very high level, Reveel provides shipping intelligence to help companies level the playing field with FedEx and UPS and DHL as well. If you're wondering, how do we do that? We renegotiate our clients' small parcel shipping contracts by leveraging our benchmarking software during renegotiations. So Jeremy, if you think about the real estate industry, for example, when you go to buy a house, you look at comps, you want to make sure you're getting a fair value for your money. Well, unfortunately, FedEx and UPS, they don't share their comps publicly. So it's really hard for companies to know if they're getting the best deal or not from FedEx or UPS. So what we did was we built an MLS or a Zillow, but for the shipping industry. So we're an IP data company. We have hundreds and thousands of FedEx and UPS contracts synced to our database. And we're now able to take our clients' current carrier contracts, benchmark those through our software, and our software kicks back the best possible rates that the carriers have already approved for an account their size. And of course, and unfortunately, the sales reps from FedEx and UPS aren't going to willingly come to the customers or the companies that do a lot of shipping with that information. So that's where Reveel comes to play. We advocate for transparency within the industry, and ultimately we want to save our clients as much money as we possibly can, since Reveel just gets a percentage of the savings we generate for our clients.
What sort of size, when you talk about cost savings and, when you're starting to look at a company and where that cost saving really kicks in, how much shipping do they need to do? Like, in other words, where does that sweet spot really come in of, okay, you're doing X amount of shipping and X amount of parcels and this. And so now based on what we know, that's a very good area to cost save. Is it a small amount? Is it a large amount? Everything in between? Where does that cost savings really kick in for the size of business that you're working with?
Clients need to be spending at least $200,000 annually with the carriers for us to be able to onboard them as a client. Average savings for companies that are spending at least $200,000 is at least 20% annually. So really, the more they spend, the more we're able to generate in savings.
And obviously on your end, the fact that you're benchmarking, you can do this obviously locally, but even nationally and internationally. So talk about where your clients are based and, talk about kind of where they're shipping product and all sorts of things around the world.
All over the world. You kind of hit the nail on the head there. I had a meeting last night with a chief revenue officer out of France. So our clients are located globally.
When you look at the trends, right now, logistics and shipping is top of mind for everyone just because there's such high demand, especially with the pandemic, and yet scarcity in terms of workers and backlogs and all sorts of things. What are you seeing on your end in the industry, and how does that kind of translate over?
Overall, we're seeing companies shipping increase really drastically and quickly. Companies historically who didn't do a lot of shipping have had to learn how to kind of pivot into that B2C space to ship to people like you and me, Jeremy, sitting at home, ordering product to our doorsteps because, they don't feel comfortable leaving the house. So we're seeing a lot of companies get into the e-commerce space who weren't there previously. So that has been a huge adjustment for companies. And then we're seeing companies who were already used to doing a lot of shipping, we're seeing their volumes skyrocket. So then from that standpoint, it's a matter of, okay, we're continuing to jump tiers and spend thresholds. What type of discounts could we get approved now that we're spending 20 million in shipping instead of 15? So it's really changing the game, for smaller companies, just getting their feet wet with shipping, and the larger companies as well.
You mentioned the benchmarking and the software, and you have a proprietary software. Talk more about the software side of what you're doing.
We do. So we're really, really excited about it. We're on the 5-yard line, finishing up developing a groundbreaking SaaS software. The platform it's insights driven, and it uses machine learning to increase efficiency and drive cost savings. I can't share too much about it because we aren't launching it until July. But as of right now, there's nothing like it in this space. So it's going to be very disruptive to the small parcel industry, and we're really, really excited about it. What I can share with you is that it pairs the general insights with actionable suggestions that maximize savings for high volume shippers. We have a very unique agreement management feature where you'll have the ability to compare FedEx and or UPS agreements side by side and manage your FedEx and UPS agreement revenue bands and expirations, ensuring that just you have the best discounts and you're not losing any discounts on an ongoing basis. And then the last thing I can say is that there's also a feature that visually shows you how you compare to other businesses with similar shipping characteristics, which we call the Reveel Peer Index. So, I mean, if you think of the MLS and the Zillow for, real estate, it's exactly like that, except for shipping. You're going to see other like shippers pop up, and it's going to show you how you compare to them. Are they receiving better rates from the carriers? And if so, in what areas? And how do we get those rates approved for your company so that we're increasing margins by driving down these costs?
Yeah, knowledge is power. I mean, it goes back to that, and even the transparency side, like you're talking about. Exactly. When you look at your background with UPS, and then when you look at obviously what you're doing with Reveel, what's something that you've either kind of learned is just a simple best practice, like a tip you would pass along to businesses? Well, what's something that, kind of behind the scenes that you would offer as encouragement or a tip when it comes to this world of shipping and logistic? And it could be broad or it could be very specific. What's something you would throw out there as just a general tip for business owners?
Ooh, yeah, that's great. Your rep is going to convince you that you have the best rates for an account your size. Unfortunately, I used to be that person. So that was my job, was to protect those UPS margins. 9 times out of 10, it is not the case. There's usually 20% savings to be achieved. So even if you don't use a company like Reveel or us, just know that go into that negotiation knowing that there is in fact savings to be achieved. It's not going to be in your sales rep's best interest to let you know that because they will make less commission from your account actually. So do what you have to do to protect your own margins and to grow your business. And yeah, that would be my biggest piece of advice.
One of the things that you all do too that's unique is the philanthropic focus and supporting charities, especially for the clients that you work with. So talk about the charitable focus.
Yeah, corporate citizenship is really important to us. We want to give back to the communities in which we live in. And so one thing that Reveel does is we donate a percentage of the savings that we procure to the charity of our client's choice. So Reveel will actually match the percentage that our clients donate. So just last year, some of the organizations that we gave back to, for instance, were Special Olympics, Johnny and Friends, Boys and Girls Club of America, to name a few. So yeah, that's something we're really passionate about. And it also incentivizes our clients to give back as well.
How does that make you feel when you look at working for Reveel and having a charitable focus and knowing that there's a social impact to your efforts? What does that mean to you personally?
It's huge because, not to talk about too much about other companies in this space, but before taking a job with Reveal, I did a lot of research on other companies in this space. And from what I could tell, no other companies that does what Reveal does had this corporate citizenship policy. And it's something that we talk about in every negotiation and in every meeting with a client, and we're presenting savings. We ask them what type of, what type of nonprofits are you passionate about spending your time with and giving back to. And let's say the savings for X, Y, and Z client is 1.3 million. Would you be comfortable donating 5% of this to that nonprofit that they mentioned? And we're surprised at the feedback that we get from our clients. Most of them do like to give a percentage of the savings back to an organization of their choice. We are seeing that change a little bit because of COVID. I think companies are really more in need now for the savings than they were in the past. But yeah, we're excited to hopefully see that start to pick up more after COVID is a little bit more behind us.
Well, and I think too, just like anything, if you don't ask, you don't receive. And by simply asking, you're always surprised how many times someone says, yes, let's do that. And so whether that's on the cost saving side or the philanthropic side, just asking opens up that door of possibility.
Exactly.
COVID, just like you said, the pandemic really changed. It changed the fact that now companies were forced to ship to residences to open up that for safety purposes, and also a heightened sense of urgency on I want it now. And so there's even on that side, but what's maybe one or two other things that you've seen caused by the pandemic that you think are good for the industry, good for Reveal? So what are some things that you think coming out of this are going to make you stronger?
That's a great question. You kind of already said it, the urgency. And I think that's just one of the beasts that Amazon is, because Amazon is as big of a player in this space as they are. People like you and me, we are now kind of conditioned to expect those packages to arrive the next day. And so what we're seeing is that clients that we work with are competing with Amazon, and they're having to ship those packages next day or 2-day. And as you probably know, a 2-day or a next day package is way more expensive than a ground package. So we're seeing these costs of shipments eat into margins more than we ever have before. And so I'd say because of COVID, we probably get more inbound leads and calls than we ever have, because companies are really looking at every single line item in their books and trying to figure out, where can we drive down costs. And FedEx and UPS, it's for companies that are product based, that's FedEx and UPS is really digging into those margins. So it's really on CFOs and CEOs and presidents' radars. So that's one of the big things. I really hate to say this. It makes me feel a little bit bad, but I would say being in the logistics space during COVID, it's a good industry to be in, because logistics has really just blown up. And a big reason for that is COVID.
Yeah, and you look at the PPP or the PPE, all the personal protection equipment and those kind of things too. I mean, there's to your point, a huge need for the supply chain and a huge need for logistics. Is there a different level of margins? Is there a cushion? Is there, when you talk about the kind of the percentage, the opportunity there to cost save between overnight, second day, ground, like, is there the same cushion, or is there a cushion at all on cost savings for the overnight? When you're looking at the urgency on that side, can companies realize a cost savings on those different variables between overnight, second day, ground, all those different areas?
It's really case by case. We have some clients where we kicked off a negotiation and most of the savings was in the air shipping. And then we have clients where they do both air shipping and ground shipping, and most of the savings was in ground. And then we have clients where the savings was all over the place. Not only was it the air shipments, the ground shipments, but it was heavy accessorial spends as well, which is things like residential fees, fuel surcharges, delivery area surcharges. So I will tell you this, FedEx and UPS are two large, fantastic companies at making money. And that is why we exist.
Well, let's wrap up and point everybody in the right direction. So where do we go? Website, phone number, social media, where do we go?
Yeah, so we're Reveel. Our website is reveelgroup.com. You can find me on LinkedIn as well, Jordan Allen. And my email is jordan@reveelgroup.com.
Well, Jordan, thank you for all you and your team do. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.